Welcome back to Welsh Miniature Board Gamer, and this is my monthly video where I show what I kit bashed from the previous box that I showed in the month. So this one was the Oathmark Heavy Orc Infantry by North Star Military Figures. Now this one has been mixed for the body of the Oathmark Heavy Orc Infantry with the arms from a Oathmark Goblin Infantry kit, and as you can see they blend in seamlessly, and that's kind of my problem with this kit. Seeing that they're meant to be heavy orcs, they blend in too seamlessly with the goblin kits. You know, I generally think of orcs as bigger than goblins. I know Tolkien, actually, little known fact, goblins and orcs were the same creature, and Tolkien swapped out the names occasionally, you know, and they are technically the same creature, as you may find if you do a little research on the internet. But, you know, to me, orcs and goblins are very different creatures. So this orc here, he's got a goblin body and orc arms and head, and they sort of blend in seamlessly. They could belong to each other. So I think that's what Oathmark have done. They just released orcs and goblins for Oathmark, and they're the same creature, very much like Tolkien did them. But then that brings the question of why not just call them all orcs or all goblins and save the confusion. But there you go. That's the thing of it. The goblins and orcs in Oathmark can use the parts, you know, interchangeably, and you will not be able to tell the difference because there is no difference in height or build, etc. So this guy is again a heavy orc's body and head with the goblin infantry, and they fit together really well. I like the paint job on this guy. Actually, he looks pretty good. It does look a little bit like that sort of Angus MacBride orcs of Mordor, etc. You know, the quite famous picture of the orcs coming over the tree stump or whatever it is. Yeah, but that guy does look a little bit like this. So I'm quite happy with myself that, you know, he turned out that way. I didn't actually have it in mind when I was painting him, but he did turn out a lot better and actually looked a little bit like theirs. So I was quite happy with that. So the first of our very weird mixes. So this is the body of the heavy orcs, the arms of the Frostgrave demons, and the head of a Wargames Atlantic lizard man. And yeah, they mix together really well. You can't really tell which kit belongs to which. You wouldn't be able to say that the lizard head doesn't belong to the body, etc. You wouldn't be able to tell the arms don't belong to the body. And so they mixed really well. I think the colours worked well. I did want him to be a very shiny lizard man. I think they're quite blingish, you know. They're quite vain creatures, you know, with his bright red and blue scales. I think, you know, bouncing off the metallics, I think works really well. That makes him quite interesting to look at. So the next one of my bit of a weirder mix. This is a Frostgrave Barbarian head and arms on the heavy orc body. So as you can see, it fits perfectly well. The head is actually a little bit bigger because the proportions of the Frostgrave ones are slightly more, slightly larger maybe than the Oathmark ones, and a lot larger than the Oathmark goblins and orcs, because their heads are quite small and quite diminutive, while this guy's got a big bruises of a head. But you know, I think it works well, and I do like the way I've coloured him. I think that breastplate works better as a leather scale for the way I paint it than like metal, so it looks quite good. So this guy has the body again of the orcs, but he's got the arms and head. No, hang on. Yeah, he's got the head of a Oathmark dwarf and the arms of an Oathmark infantryman, I think. So yeah, they mix in really well. You can see the head is rather large because dwarves do have rather bullish large heads. But yeah, there's no reason to think that this guy wouldn't fit in, and you could say he was either a tall dwarf or a kind of short human, and I don't think anyone would really question it. He does have a bit dwarfish features, but you know, that's by the by. It's still people do have different size heads, etc., than other people. So if I bring in one of these Oathmark demons, not Oathmark, Frostgrave demons, sorry, you can see, yeah, you know, he is human proportions and size, etc. It's just he's slightly different in scale, you know, because he's using different parts, etc. So next to a Stargrave soldier. Yep, exactly right. Apart from the head's a bit big, maybe, in comparison to the female Frostgrave soldier, but, you know, they look perfectly fine together. So in scale, I think they're going to look okay, and I got no problem putting them on the field, etc. So what do you think? Do you think they match up pretty good, or do you think that, you know, the kits do not join up very well? Let me know in the comments below. I do reply to every single comment, and maybe even while you're there, leave a like or subscribe. But until next time, it's gonna be goodbye from me, Welsh Miniature Board Gamer.